So here for the launch and the first ride of the KTM Duke 160. Don't say why I'm not wearing gloves. I have gloves. I'll put them on just before the ride. We're in the parking lot, and the console, they have improved it. It's still this black and white TFT, but it looks quite sophisticated. And this bike, right off the bat, I can understand how light it is, and at the same time the clutch is lighter because this is coming equipped with a slipper clutch. It's a rainy day, so we have our wet weather gear with us. So here we go, got the gloves on, as you can see, waterproof, and the bikes are starting out. The gear lever is super light. It's not like the old KTMs used to be a little clunky and a lot more feedback. This one's not like that, but much smoother, much softer motorcycle. The front suspension travel, they have reduced it, 47mm travel on the back. So they've done this with a sharper rake angle to give this motorcycle more agility, more street cred, flickability, filtering and all that stuff. So early morning brake test, 320mm single disc up front. I don't think that's a problem. I'd say quite peppy. I don't remember riding the MT-15 anytime recently, so can't really compare. Most of its torque's available below 4,000 RPM, 80% of the torque. That's going to make this motorcycle more enjoyable in the city runs, especially out of the 0 to 60, and gunning out of the red light's going to be more, enjoyable. More usable power, with the lower torque curve. So that's obviously a better thing. The flickability thing, you saw that I was able to glide this motorcycle. I've just ridden it a couple of minutes, and I'm already quite at home with it. It's a very easy bike to ride, I would say that. And it's 147 kilograms, but thanks to KTM's trellis frame, they always feel lighter. And you ask a person to guess its weight, they would not be able to do it. Now, I ride a much heavier motorcycle, so probably that's why I'm feeling this one to be very, very light. At the same time, I'm full throttle, and this motorcycle has almost no vibrations, which is really good even at full throttle. I haven't gone to the full RPM, but I can say if you're wearing riding gears, at least like I am, you'd feel zero vibrations on this motorcycle. The frame and the rest of the bike's not being pushed to the limit by the smaller engine. That's what I meant. It's a more refined experience, and to be honest, Duke 125 has been discontinued, and I can see why. That bike never made much sense, and especially when it got heavier with the newer bodywork. The 125cc power, it was meant for the European under 16-year-olds, learner license kind of stuff. And this bike, to be honest, 160 makes more sense for India, because the 125cc barely struggled to reach 100 kilometers per hour. It had absolutely zero highway usability, especially after it gained in weight with the new heavier bodywork. So it wasn't probably selling as much in India as well, and that's why they made a switch to much more local specific. So I think the 125 is still gonna be there in Europe, because there it has a specific purpose, but this has been made specifically for the Indian market, as they're saying. So they've made a bigger radiator, because in our traffic conditions and our heating summers, we have 8 months summer. So this bike, it has turn-by-turn navigation. I don't know how to use it yet, but the turn-by-turn navigation is actually extra. So you have to pay around 5,500 rupees extra for the turn-by-turn navigation, which brings me to the price. This bike's around 1.85 lakhs ex-showroom Delhi, which would be slightly over 2 lakhs on road Kolkata. If I have the exact numbers, I'll put it on screen, but that price does not include the turn-by-turn navigation. If you were happy with the phone mount, you can go that way, or I'd rather pay for that, because it displays the navigation right on screen, which I think is extremely useful. We're going over some bad roads. These are slightly bad roads, not really bad, but the front's stiffer. The rear travels more, as they've mentioned, that is true, but at the same time, it's not a hard suspension motorcycle like the Duke 390, because I went over those. I really did not feel that bad on the suspension, giving me shocks up front. So the suspension has less travel, but at the same time it's a little soft up front, which is good for a street bike. I mean, this is soft by KTM standards, but take this motorcycle to a corner, I don't think that'll be a problem. Okay, higher bumpers. Ah, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful brakes. Amazing. It's pretty good. I mean, if you don't look at the speedometer and just enjoy the ride, I think this power is useful enough. Okay, so that turn's approaching. It's wet weather, but we don't give. Oh man. I mean, we did that supermoto style. We jumped quite well over the speed breakers. I was standing on the foot pegs. I mean, this bike's got mad stability, but I wasn't expecting that speed breaker. I haven't been here for a while. They built speed breakers everywhere, so it's not going to be an easy motorcycle day to test. But this bike's a little bit slower when it approaches the 100 kilometers per hour. It's about 280. It goes really like a rocket ship, and then starts losing steam after that a little bit. I mean, it's still accelerating, just not as rapidly, which means the torque thing is probably right. This bike, the 19 PS of power that it has, it's at 9,500 RPM, which is pretty high up there, but it's a little less than the Duke 200, which makes the power at 10,000 RPM, 25 PS, so that's a significantly more amount of power, but it makes it a higher RPM. So at a street bike level, I prefer the lower RPM, especially the low and mid-range torque that this bike has to offer. They claimed it, I've ridden it, it's there. You don't feel that initial hollowness that you feel on some of the other competitor bikes, and those bikes have the power really right out there. Those 6 gears, you have a lot of ratios to ride accordingly. I mean, if you want more mileage, you can definitely ride a higher gear because of the torque. I don't think you'll feel much of a problem. Obviously, a street bike with KTM's kind of gearing, you need to shift up and down quite a bit compared to other motorcycles, which can manage without so much shifting. But this is supposed to be sporty, so I guess if you're buying a KTM, you're in for that experience. You want to be really engaged kind of thing, and it does engage you. The seat, it seems that they've formed it up just a tiny bit over the Duke 390. Keep that in mind if you're moving in from a commuter bike like a Bajaj 125cc or a Honda. You're probably going to get a little bit less seating, not the seating comfort. The comfort's fine because the seat's really wide, but it's not as plush. So that's one thing. No frills on this motorcycle, none of the electronics and everything, which I don't honestly mind, because 160cc motorcycle, 19 PS of power, you really don't need electronics pushing up the price of the motorcycle, which I've already mentioned to be 1.85 lakhs. The turning in is so tight on this motorcycle, so perfect. I mean, I just didn't need to adjust anything for the U-turn. I have forgotten that how light and agile all the KTM motorcycles are. I mean, they've made it more agile, but even if they didn't, I mean, who are we kidding? That's a KTM, right? We already have enough agility. We're not gonna go over into that water. We don't need to. Doing everything in the 5th gear, but if you go to the 6th, just cracked it over 108 108 kilometers per hour. I don't know if we need any more. I guess it's good. I mean, 100, 108, 110 easy on this motorcycle. Just need a little bit of an open stretch, and I mean, the bike is happy. It's very happy to rev at those high limits.
After the ride, I headed over to wash the bike before shooting the cinematics. Let's go over some of the features before we go into the post-ride analysis. The KTM Duke 160 comes with LED self-cancelling indicators, hazard lights, 6-segment LED headlamps with DRL, rear switchable ABS for that supermoto mode, slipper clutch, and a bigger capacity 8 ampere battery against the competition, which offers 4 ampere. Fuel tank capacity is 10.1 liters, and with a claimed mileage of 40 kilometers per liter, this impressive range of 400 plus kilometers is really nice. Bionic hollow alloy wheels and lighter front forks allow this bike to achieve the 147 kilograms of curb weight, which makes it very beginner friendly. The console is always feature packed, and now they have the optional turn-by-turn navigation system as well.
We've been riding the KTM Duke 160 for the last couple of hours, I think, and I'm absolutely floored with this motorcycle. The bike fulfills its purpose so perfectly. I was a little apprehensive about the front suspension. I was thinking that maybe it will be hard, but it is not. When you're doing normal roads and a little bit of bad roads, honestly, this motorcycle can handle it. I've seen that on the lower capacity by Dukes like the 200 and the 125, which is now discontinued. The suspension used to be tuned to a more softer setting. Same with this bike, but they have reduced the suspension travel. So if you land in a big pothole, yeah, you're gonna feel that because it travels so low. The rear suspension travels a lot, so that will be better for the rider as well as the pillion comfort. Being that lower travel front suspension, the bike's front is very agile. The flickability on this one is, I cannot even describe it. You have to take the test drive to understand that. Slightly sharper angle, so they have made small changes, but already the Duke was a front biased motorcycle, especially with the lower handlebar and the higher seat height. By the way, 815, not that high, but they have lowered the handlebars, putting a little bit more weight and feedback up front, so that made it feel more like a sport bike. Though in the sweeping corners you will not feel that it's twitchy or anything, but when you want it to be agile, when you want it to do the city traffic filtering, this bike will feel very nimble on its feet and quite flickable, easy to do those short gaps and tight spaces. 147 kilograms feels a lot lighter on saddle. That has always been the thing with the trellis frames and the Dukes. What's different on this motorcycle? Obviously no electronics. You don't need for 19 PS of power, which is again delivering at just around 9,500 rpm, which is a little bit on the higher side, but then the torque, it's available right from the word go, so you never feel that hollowness that you feel on certain motorcycles, especially the R15 or the MT-15, which is this as a direct competitor of. So 12 newton meters of torque is available below 4,000 rpm, which makes the usable power, the acceleration in third gear, fourth gear, right out of the red light, that kind of situations really taken care of by KTM. So you never feel that you're riding a lesser powered motorcycle if you're riding on the city. Obviously, if you're riding this motorcycle in the highway, the power is going to feel a little bit inadequate. We did about top speed bikes going to around 110 kilometers per hour. Then it's not hitting the rev limiter, but it's kind of losing steam because of the smaller engine. So this bike's not really meant for the highway. If you're looking for that, you have the 200, you have the 250. I'd recommend the 250 because that's really highway capable. The Duke 200 has always been my most favorite city street naked kind of motorcycle. This bike offers 80 to 85% of the performance of what the Duke offers 200. If you want the mileage and the lighter weight, which definitely both things are important in the city, useful in the city, and you don't venture out too much on the highways, then this is the KTM that you're looking to buy. If I found any negatives, the ride's really short, so it's not that I dug really deep into it, but there's one thing: the clutch is extremely beginner friendly and the throttle is around a 90-degree throttle from what I understood. For beginner riders, that's good, but for experienced rider, when I was dumping the clutch, the power that comes in, it's not that KTM's manic first gear. It has that slight dip and then the power rises, which was, I've seen that in Bajaj bikes like the Pulsar NS200, but on KTM the power used to come on, you dump the clutch and it used to surge forward. That thing I really missed, because the power's kind of, I think the ECU's playing around too much with it, interfering with the clutch dumping, and it's giving the power a little gradually, which I feel if it wasn't there, the 0 to 60 acceleration could have been slightly better. Pricing wise, it's on the higher side, but then you're getting a performance bike and you're getting the upside down forks, the 320 disc up front, which is an overkill, to be very honest. Very safe bike, wider tires and that huge 220 disc width. I think KTM always uses 4-piston calipers, which makes your braking experience completely different. Like, I have done over 100 and then I saw a speed breaker. I have done from 100 to 20, 0 to 100 is one thing, but 100 to 0, that's more important. So on this bike I always have that confidence that I can late brake and this bike will stop, it will not let me down. So that's when you're paying for those kind of safety and dual channel ABS. By the way, I was talking about the front first gear not being right up there as I wanted it, but then as you accelerate up, the throttle response is perfect. The throttling is just as you push it on, it goes on. There is no lag, no delay, just like a KTM. But I think they've refined the throttle response even more, because sometimes there used to be a surge. There's no surge on this bike. As much as you're twisting, exactly the same amount of throttle you would get. So very beginner friendly, at the same time not boring. If you ask me, the pricing, yeah, people are going to be a little bit squishy with that pricing, but hey, even a Hornet comes at 1.8 lakhs on road right now, so getting a much more bike for the additional amount that you spend on the KTM. Nice to see that they've kept all the negatives down, like the heating and a lot of other stuff that people used to complain about KTMs. They have cut those down and kept what's fun about the bike. So I don't think I'll be doing a full detailed review, because this is all you need to know before you take the test drive and decide for yourself. Thanks for watching, and if you've lasted this long, I'm sure you liked the video, so hit that like button and see you on the next one.